live dans la maison des Finch. Putain, déjà il commence à faire de la merde. Donc je suis en compagnie donc de Diablo ou Alexandre. Donc on descend tout droit dans le sous-sol.
Très beau sous-sol.
On voit surtout que dalle. Les gens comme ça. Et pas la lumière STP. Ambiance maximale. Ouais. Waouh! C'est autrement que dans la BD, hein. Il y a encore du texte. Donc les gens, voilà. C'est le sous-sol.
Mom said the basement was off limits.
Maman disait que le
Unless I
sous-sol
wanted
était hors
another
limite, à
tetanus
moins que
shot.
j'ai envie d'un rappel contre le tétanos. Nous allons découvrir la histoire de Sven, notre oncle. Ah non, c'est Walter, notre oncle, je suis con. Yo my queen. Salut. Et tout le monde.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once.
J'ai vu Edith
carrying
rôder dans le
packages.
sous-sol. Un jour, elle transportait des caisses. Putain, j'ai peur que t'en lâches une.
Je m'appelle pas Max.
Tais-toi.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Je pensais qu'elle cachait peut-être des cadeaux. Mais non, c'est mort.
It turned out she was hiding a
Wow,
lot
mais
more
ils ont
than
un
that.
bunker et tout. En fait, elle cachait bien plus que ça. Ouais, bah aussi on est dans un sous-sol, tu vois.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Je me souviens avoir un jour demandé à maman où Walter était parti.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he
voilà.
could.
Elle a dit qu'après la mort de Barbara, il était...
Merci.
If there's a pattern in all these stories,
S'il y aurait une logique à toutes ces histoires, s'il y a une logique
I
à
think
toutes
it's
ces
that none of
histoires,
us has gotten very
je crois que
far.
c'est aucun de nous n'est allé bien loin. Ah, c'est quoi le jeu? Alors le jeu c'est What Remains of Edith Finch. Si tu veux savoir de quoi ça parle et tout, je te conseille de d'abord regarder le premier live, tout simplement. C'est une famille qui a en fait une malédiction qui fait que tout le monde est mort prématuré. Nous sommes les derniers membres de la famille Edith Finch. Mince. Il y a une radio. Ouais. Je sais pas. Oh merde. Ouais,
Goodbye, everyone.
Au revoir.
I can't believe I've been down
Non,
here for 30 years.
je n'arrive pas à croire que je suis ici depuis 30 ans.
On that first day, after the
Le
shaking
premier
started,
jour, quand le
I didn't
tremblement a
think I'd
commencé,
survive
je
a
ne
week.
pensais pas survivre une semaine.
But after a few days,
Mais
I
au bout
settled
de
into a
quelques jours,
routine.
je me suis installée dans une routine.
That's what kept me sane.
C'est ce qui m'a empêché de devenir fou.
Having a schedule, living for
Avoir des
today.
horaires, vivre le présent. Oh,
I always expected to be
Putain, on va
dead
laisser
tomorrow.
tomber. J'ai toujours cru mourir le jour d'après.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to
Mais si on
anything.
attend assez longtemps, on finit par s'habituer à tout. On ouvre boîte, let's go. Allez, pêche au sirop. Plein
Even
de
a
jours.
monster on the other
Mais
side
un
of the door
monstre, même un
starts
monstre
to
derrière
feel
la
normal.
porte devient... Ah, finit par
Almost
devenir
friendly.
normal. Presque amical.
And then one day,
C'est tout, tu sais.
everything just
Et puis un jour, tout s'est
stopped.
arrêté.
J'en étais sûr.
Whatever that thing was, it was
Quoi que
gone.
j'ai... Quoi que était cette chose, elle était
Maybe it
partie.
got tired of waiting.
C'était peut-être lassé d'attendre.
Or maybe I just got tired
Ou
of
je
being
m'étais
afraid.
peut-être lassé d'avoir peur. Désolé, mais je ne rejoindrai pas la partie.
It's been a week now,
Ça
the
fait une
longest
semaine
in
maintenant.
30 years.
La plus longue depuis 30 ans. Ah,
I'm done
Tout
waiting.
à l'heure, tu pouvais bouger, non?
Non, j'en ai marre.
I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Tu dois partir pendant que je le peux encore. Yeah.
C'est le grand-père, ça.
C'est le grand-oncle, je pense. Bien. C'est Walter.
Walter, c'était le tout petit.
C'est Walter, c'est...
Walter, c'est le petit.
Ah non,
hein.
c'est Sven ou c'est Walter?
Walter, c'est le tout petit qui s'était caché en dessous du lit pendant que
Oui,
Barbara
et qui a été le
était-
petit frère de Barbara. Donc c'est la grand-mère de Edith, Barbara. Non, c'est pas la grand-mère. Qu'est-ce que je suis con.
C'est la petite fille. C'est la fille. Pardon.
C'est la... Ouais, c'est
Non,
la...
c'est la...
c'est la
la
tantine,
cousine.
c'est la grande tantine de... Voilà.
c'est
Mais
la-
là, je sais pas si on joue Sven ou Walter. Ah non, non. Je pense que c'est Walter.
je
Qui est
crois
resté
pas que
caché. Si, je pense que c'est Walter.
I know it's out there somewhere.
Je sais que c'est là quelque part.
Il y avait
Whatever
Walter,
killed Barbara.
ça, c'était un des frères, et il y avait un autre frère.
Ce qui a tué Barbara
And Molly.
et Molly.
Molly, elle a été
And
tuée.
Calvin.
Et Calvin. Molly, je pense qu'en fait,
Maybe
le
this
fait qu'elle a mangé
is
le
all a
truc,
mistake.
peut-être, ce n'est-il qu'une... Merde. En fait, je pense que Molly, en fait...
But I need to
si
stop
je
living
dois
the
arrêter de
same day,
revivre sans cesse la même journée,
even if it kills
même si
me.
je dois en mourir. Ah oui, putain, moi, je me souviens quand même.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know
Quoi qu'il y ait ici,
I'm ready for
je
it.
veux que vous sachiez que je suis prêt pour ça.
I'm going to appreciate all of it,
Je vais
especially
en
the food.
apprécier chaque élément, particulièrement la nourriture.
I don't mind if I only have a year left,
Ça ne me dérangera pas de ne plus avoir qu'un an,
or a month,
ou un mois,
or a single week.
ou une seule semaine.
I'd be happy with one
Je
more
me
day.
contenterai de...
I can already imagine the sun on my face.
C'est normal, le mec il est en plein milieu de truc, le mec c'est normal qu'il va se faire écraser par un.
Mais Molly, je pense qu'en fait, le fait qu'elle ait mangé de baies de houx et de dentifrice, elle est partie dans un trip et en fait, elle avait tellement faim qu'elle se fait bouffer.
Walter died when I was 6.
Ouais, Walter, c'était Walter. Bon, allez.
I can't believe my mom never told
J'avais
me
six-
he was down
Walter
here.
est mort quand j'avais 6 ans. Je n'arrive pas à croire que ma mère m'ait caché ça. Donc, genre, elle avait 6 ans, elle savait pas qu'il y avait genre son oncle qui était en train d'être sous elle, en train de manger ses petites pêches au thon, tranquille, tu vois.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Attends, il y a un texte. Où ça? Où ça? Non, j'ai raté le texte. Je suis sûre que ma mère essaie de me protéger. Là-trop, on va se faire écraser dans un train, pas notre tour.
Merde.
Let's go! En fait, je pense qu'elle est enceinte. Qu'elle n'a pas été manger un gros McDo, mais qu'elle serait enceinte.
Maybe she was
Et
afraid
c'est
I'd
ça
end up
que, à
like
mon avis, le
Walter.
lecteur qu'on voit au tout début qui est sur le bateau avec son truc, en fait, ce serait son fils.
J'ai pas lu tout le début,
But if she never told me about an uncle under the
Alors,
house,
même s'il m'avait jamais parlé d'un oncle sous la maison.
I can only imagine what else she was
Je
hiding.
ne peux m'imaginer ce qu'elle cachait d'autre.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she
Je
made.
ne veux pas commettre les mêmes erreurs qu'elle. Mais par contre, eh ben, il en a bouffé, hein.
pas de petite sauce là-dedans.
Des
Attends,
pêches au
attends,
sirop.
attends,
Quel
attends.
est le menu du jour? Des pêches au sirop. Et demain, bah, des pêches au sirop. C'est ça, tu veux que j'aille voir? Bah, là, ici, je peux pas y aller. Mais tu vois, elle a un gros bill, elle est enceinte, c'est sûr. J'entends les mouches. Bah.
Ouais,
Ouah, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Oh yeah, I'm a banana. Tu connais pas? Ouais, mais c'est du beurre de cacahuète. Moi j'en prendrais bien, hein. Genre, tu vois, juste pour le fun, je me barre avec, tu vois. C'est bon le beurre de cacahuète.
I'm trying to bury something that's still alive.
En essayant d'enterrer quelque chose encore vivante. Ouais,
Now that there's
c'est
only
ça,
one of us left,
Ouais.
or maybe two,
Maintenant qu'il ne reste plus que nous deux, ou peut-être...
Que nous.
Ouais,
I
ou
thought it was
peut-être deux.
time I heard the stories for myself
Je pense qu'il était temps d'écouter ces histoires pour moi-même.
and found out what happened to everyone else.
Et de découvrir ce qui est arrivé à tout le monde.
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem.
Mais maintenant, ces histoires ne sont en fait que...
Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
croyons-nous- Non que nous avons fait une réalité. Peut-être nous croyons-nous tellement que nous en avons fait une réalité. Voilà, boum.
En fait,
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Je ne sais même pas si je devrais... Ah, il me met des vents. Il me coupe.
c'est pas grave parce que là où il y avait.
Oui, bah oui.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Il serait peut-être mieux que tout ceci soit mort avec moi.
On va lire tous les deux comme si on a un.
But I thought you should know about your family.
Mais je pense que tu devais savoir à propos de ta famille. Oui, je pense que c'est son fils. Ou sa fille, je sais pas.
And the history you're a part of.
Et toute l'histoire dont tu fais partie. Ah, mais c'est la maison. C'est l'ancienne maison. Le naufrage. Je m'en fous, j'y vais. Hein. Merde, on peut pas. Je sais pas où je dois aller.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost
Et pour
as
être
you
honnête, je
probably
me
do
sens
right
aussi
now.
perdu que tu dois l'être également.
I think the people in these
Je
stories
crois que
believed
les
them.
gens de
for
ces histoires
what that's
croyaient
worth.
ce que ça vaut. Y'a rien. Un transat. Ça va pas aller là-bas parce que là c'est cassé. Ah, coco. Profiter de la vue et là tu sais, ça se casse et tu vois je meurs. Attention, texte. Même pas. Attention, texte.
And when you look at the house,
Bitextile.
that history of
regarde la maison,
imagination and
cette histoire
stubbornness
d'imagination,
and madness,
d'obstination et de folie.
any of it seems possible.
Tout semble possible. Bien vu. There's nothing gonna be said. Non. Bah bien vu que c'est leur maison, ouais, Gogol. Ah, non, 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 non. De foutre. Je peux grimper là, mais putain, je dois aller où? Ah, je vais aller à droite.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long,
Je
we've just gotten used to
crois
it.
que nous sommes cernés par la mort depuis si longtemps que nous y sommes habitués. Oh, avec le rouge. Elle pourrait aller
What
plus
kind of
vite comme
family
ça.
finishes building a
Quel
cemetery
genre de
before
famille peut
starting a
bâtir un
house?
cimetière avant de commencer la maison? De toi et de Léa.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this,
J'ai
but
du mal à l'admettre. J'ai du mal à
the pet
l'admettre, mais
cemetery made me more
le cimetière
uncomfortable
pour
than the
animaux me
human
mettait plus
one.
mal à l'aise que celui des hommes. Ah ouais, avec
Three of
Dorothy,
the gerbils are
Dorothy,
mine.
Gigi,
2 had been my
3
fault.
gerbilles m'avaient appartenu et pourtant 2 d'entre elles c'était ma faute.
C'est quoi?
Et regarde les noms, 2 secondes. Durpy,
Durpy
Durpy Junior,
Junior.
Burpy, Shorpy, Furby, Lurpy, Zurpy, Zoé, Coco, Tucker, Charlie, Daisy, Lucy, Lucy, Lucy. Je sais même pas lire en plus.
Lucie, c'était un chien.
Oliver. Ah, Christopher, mais c'est le petit poisson de la chienne.
Shadow, c'était un chat.
Oh, Shadow. Oh.
C'est un beau.
Ouais, moi ça va.
Shadzi.
Shadzi. Oh my god, du kazamu. Shadzi, kore. Haile. Body node. Good in body. Shadzi.
Sven built the
Cool.
house,
Ah.
but it was Edie who
Ouais.
designed the
Sven a
cemetery.
construit la maison, mais c'est Eddie qui a conçu le cimetière. Walter Finch, avec une...
Et en fait, là, ils les ont enterrés debout, je suppose.
Je sais pas si... Ah, on peut regarder là. Ouais. J'avais pas vu qu'on pouvait regarder. Mais putain, mais je veux pas y aller. Edith Finch. Bah oui. Sven Finch. Non, Finch. Calvin Finch. Molly Finch. Un chat avec des ailes, bah ça leur représente bien ça. Et franchement, putain, entre devenir un chat, une chouette, un requin et puis un putain de monstre, voilà. Barbara Finch. Pierre
I'm sure
Esnogui.
Odin's monument had been
Là,
Edie's
c'est l'autre
idea.
Je suis sûre
My mom
que
was always trying to
putain,
move
ma mère
on,
essayait
but
toujours
for Edie, the
d'avancer,
past
mais pour
never went
Eddie,
away.
le quoi? Le passé n'a jamais disparu. C'est qui ça? Ouais, je peux. Ah oui, mais ça c'est les trucs. Ça c'est dit machin, et là c'est Odin. Odin sur la maison
She
qui
could
a
see
fait
it
naufrage.
poking out of the water at low
Elle voyait
tide.
émerger de l'eau la marée basse.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house
Eddie dit qu'elle
every
rêvait de
night.
la vieille maison chaque nuit. Bah bien sûr, t'as de l'eau partout, comment tu veux? Un bateau? Ok bon. Nick 5.
Oui.
Allez.
Non, non, j'ai peur.
Je dois aller où là? Un chemin? Pas de chemin. Tu refais ça, tu vois.
Merde.
Bon.
Moi aussi je suis mort.
J'imagine c'est comme ça que moi. Je suis caché. Merde.
Tu ne trouveras pas.
Nya.
Ah bah si.
Bon, attends, résumons. Nous sommes allés là. Nous avons fait ça. Nous avons vu la vieille maison. Non mais t'inquiète. Non, 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 mais t'inquiète, c'est mon qui regarde. Mais non, mais regarde. Non mais je te jure, non, mais je te jure que c'est mon pied qui comme ça.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
J'ai toujours trouvé le point de vue d'Eddie plus simple à comprendre. Il y a Eddie et Edith. Hein.
But the older I get, the more I can see where
Plus
my
je
mom was
vieillis,
coming
plus je
from.
comprends ma mère.
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her
Son père
brothers.
en a été
She
assez
was just
strict,
trying
pas
to
assez
do
pour
better.
sauver ses frères ici, il veut juste faire le mieux. Sam. Ah oui, Grégory. Et Grégory, j'ai hâte de découvrir sa mort, elle a l'air super triste. Gus. Gus. Eh, Gus. Ah, bien, c'est Gus.
Mon grand-père il s'appelait Gus.
Gus. Auguste.
Non, je te promets.
Ouais, mais Gus, moi on dit, tu vois, Gus, genre Gugus, tu vois.
She
Ouais,
lost
ok.
2 of her brothers, just
Elle
like
a
I
perdu
did.
2 frères
I
comme
get
moi.
why she
Je
tried so
comprends
hard to
pourquoi elle a
protect
tant
us.
essayé de nous protéger. Lewis. Ah oui, mais c'est... Ah, Sanjay. Ouais, Sanjay.
Comment c'est sûr que t'as des chaussures plein de paillettes?
J'ai des paillettes sur les chaussures, moi. C'est pas à moi, c'est à ma soeur. Qu'est-ce qu'elles font là, putain? C'est quoi cette merde? Bon, j'irai lui rendre après. C'est pas des paillettes, c'est de la dentelle. Non.
There's so many things I wish I could ask
Il y a
my
tant
mom.
de choses que j'aimerais demander à maman
Part
aujourd'hui.
of me thinks this is what she wanted all along.
Quelque part, je me dis que c'est ce
For me
qu'elle a
to come
toujours
back
voulu.
someday
Que je revienne ici un jour.
and find everything out for
Et
myself.
découvrir tout par moi-même. Attention, il y a... Ah, désolé, il y a mon gros bide, il passe pas. Une blague. Ah, il y a... Ah merde, il y a mon gros bide, il passe pas, il est bloqué entre deux planches. Je rigole même pas, t'es sur ton téléphone, toi.
Pardon.
T'as pas entendu la vanne.
But looking back on it now,
Mais rétrospectivement... nice, le vocabulaire.
if she told me there was going to be so
Elle
much
m'avait dit
climbing,
que j'allais devoir grimper tout ça.
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Je ne serais jamais venue alors que j'étais enceinte de 22 semaines. Ah bah voilà, confirmation. Gros bide ne veut pas dire forcément McDo. Oh putain, la branche elle craque. Oh, je vais me casser la gueule à la fin. Ah, son gros bide. On sent qu'on a pris aussi du rein. Hein. Imagine, elle aurait été enceinte de 23 semaines, elle serait tombée. Hein.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he
J'ai
and my
connu
mom had a lot
grand-père
in
Sam.
common.
Et je crois qu'il y avait une mère. Bah quoi, on commun. Quoi? T'as dit quoi? Il dit crac crac. Ah, on va découvrir la mort du grand-père Sam.
They were both pretty intense.
Tous deux étaient assez passionnés. Ok, donc là ça va
Sam
être sa
spent his
mort.
life shooting photos, but
Sam a passé
Mom
sa
said
vie
he
à
got
prendre des
nervous
photos, mais
being in
maman
front of
disait
the
qu'il était
camera.
nerveux
I guess
face
we're
à
all
la
afraid of
vidéo.
something.
J'imagine qu'on a tous peur de quelque chose. Ah, nice. Oula. Ouais, ça je pense que c'est la suite, on va pas y aller tout de suite. On va découvrir sa mort avant d'avancer. Ah ouais, d'accord. Winchester 80, elle a appartenu au Finch. Balle de cartouche calibre 12, médaille d'honneur.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Faire tout pour la rencontrer. Ah, regarde. Oh Sam, qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Attends, mais à la porte, tu peux pas le voir.
Allez, salut, regarde, il y a de la colle. Tu vois, on dit ouais, gna gna gna, c'est... Ah ouais, mais c'est le petit trou. Ça veut dire qu'elle était fermée de l'autre côté avant, tu vois, comme ça.
Je te donne
Bah,
une barre.
caramel.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
Regarde, t'as vu, il est comme ça. Tada.
Il va frapper une heure.
Regarde, c'est quoi? C'est une poule? C'est quoi?
Non, c'est un écureuil.
Ah oui, putain, ah oui, oui, d'accord, là c'est la tête. J'ai cru que la tête, tu vois, c'était la queue. Je me disais, mais putain, c'est
Comme la
cet
poule,
animal.
Comme la poule à même pas quelques mètres là.
On aurait un pétard dans la gueule là.
Tes amis, s'ils revoient la rediffusion, ils vont pas comprendre. Sauf que nous, on va comprendre.
Mais en fait, si vous avez envie, les gens, pas loin, il y a un petit truc avec des poules, mais il y en a une, elle est ultra chelou. Parce qu'en fait, au lieu d'avoir une grosse touffe, on dirait qu'ils lui a mis un pétard dans la gueule, et du coup, en fait, on dirait qu'elle a la tête explosée. Mais en fait, c'est toutes ses plumes sur la tête, on voit son petit bec qui dépasse.
Et
En fait, elle voit que dalle.
Elle a une tête ronde.
Voilà. Et en fait, elle a plein de plumes partout, on dirait qu'on lui a tiré une balle en plein milieu de la tronche et que ça a explosé. Bon, je pense qu'il n'y a rien d'autre, on peut aller découvrir sa mort.
Là où il y a le PC.
Ouais, mais je sais, il n'y a pas de PC en plus.
Enfin, ah oui, ça me semblait un PC.
Sam. Marines. Oh, la petite Fifi.
Oh, Maxime, qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
Je t'emmerde.
Max, pourquoi tu es devenu un oiseau?
Je préfère être un oiseau qu'un gros cochon. Oh.
Je t'emmerde.
Non, non, s'il te plaît. Comment je...
Dawn, I promise,
Dawn, je te
you'll never
promets
forget
que
this
tu n'oublieras
weekend.
jamais ce week-end.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Ah, mais ça, c'est ma mère, du coup. Cheat.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
En fait, c'est un peu comme un Où est Charlie, tu vois. Il
I
faut
will
prendre
never
tout le temps
forget
down, en
this
fait.
weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn.
Mais une
Okay,
seule gueule,
got
hein.
it.
I'm gonna take some pictures,
Je
okay?
vais prendre quelques
Just
photos,
be
d'accord?
careful. That camera's older than you are.
Pareil, encore plus vieux que toi. Ouais, c'est down.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
Maintenant,
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
elle est où?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
Poisson.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin.
La dernière fois, c'est là, mon pote qui avait une...
That was a great trip.
Ah, yeah.
Your grandpa's fent. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more
Peut-être trouver
interesting
des
to
trucs plus
photograph?
intéressants.
We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere.
Il y avait des cerfs partout.
I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Ouais, bon, des mâles. Je vois pas où il est beau, hein, ce putain de mâle.
Let's see.
Ils sont censés avoir un cerf.
Maybe.
Je sais pas.
Was it?
Je comprends pas, je pense qu'on devrait le voir là.
Could have been.
On va quadriller tout le truc. Il vole.
You don't need to waste any more film on me,
Elle a pas
kiddo.
de gâcher de la pellicule avec moi. Papy, y a pas de cerf. Hein. Putain, je fais un selfie là. d'accord. Putain, le pire c'est que je me souviens au tout début du live, donc tu vois, je me souvenais pas, mais en fait j'avais déjà commencé le parti, j'étais arrivé là et j'étais bloqué. En fait, je trouvais pas ce qu'il fallait photographier. Normalement, si c'est un cerf, il est quand même censé être au sol, désolé. Alors, eh ben...
Oui, partout. Hein.
Bah.
Ah ouais, Max, finalement,
Ah, cool. Oh, je prends en photo tout ce qui passe sous les yeux en espérant que c'est tout ça. Oh putain, tu m'aiderais pas toi? Eh non, mais c'est pas ça, genre, je sais pas, je cherche sur internet. Mais normalement, il faut aller sur mon truc. Regarde, il y a un machin qui s'appelle. Attends.
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn on. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad! Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot. I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw, it sure made him happy. Silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. Wasn't my fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room, except Louis. Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while. And then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. see seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Passenger, I was still hungry, and to cross the water I smelled something new, something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.